Gonna be honest, don't really know what I'm doing.
He was often a player that I would buy on Football Manager.
It's already a terrible reason.
From Johnstone, Matt puts Dan's wardrobe to shame.
You know nothing, Johnstone.
Look at him, the cat that got the cream.
Ian Taylor said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life.
My theory on referees is you give them the nicest changing room in the stadium.
It's just the most bizarre thing I've ever
Hear me out.
I cannot believe Gabriel Bondahor's
That's crazy,
That's
isn't it?
terrible. Yeah, we may well have lost listeners early doors again with a long-winded intro. Go, shoot. Hello, welcome back to the Villa View podcast. Playoff finalist Aston Villa 2018. Thank the Lord, because if we had not have gone through, it would have been probably the worst podcast in history.
Yeah.
And we've got low standards to begin with.
I mean, we do, yeah. We talked about it on the way here. It would have, the what if we'd have come away from last night, got in at 2:30 in the morning, and it had been bitter defeat. You know, the coming back in here would have been probably a no-go, to be honest.
I wouldn't have come. I'd have asked Dolan if he fancied it, to be honest.
As it was, though, today has felt like the longest day. I've just wanted to get in here, talk with you, Dan, because there's a whole host to get to. Last time we were in this booth, we were playoff semi-finalists. We hadn't kicked a ball in the playoffs.
Feels like about 7 years ago now.
It does. It feels a long, long time. So there's a lot to get to. There's under-23s to talk about. There's personal life matters as
lots
well.
Going on.
But before we start, I think it's very much right that we start with the news of Jlloyd Samuel. Yeah. Before we go on, Jlloyd Samuel obviously died yesterday. Age 37, and just a really, really sad situation. Obviously played 200 games for the Villa, scored 3 goals. A large part of his career there, was a bit of a cult hero, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And it's just a really, really sad situation. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all of his family and close relatives and friends.
Yeah, he was a good player. Nader Vassell was due to be at Villa Park last night, and he ended up not coming because he went to spend time with Jlloyd's family, rightly so. Football's obviously on the back burner when things like this have happened. I remember when he first came through, he was quite an exciting player because he was different. I think Paul Merson alluded to this a little bit last night, that he was like a wing back that proper bombed on before that was fashionable. So he was a really, really good player. He got called up for England. Yeah. I don't think he ever played, but he got called up for England under David O'Leary. I remember that season. He was a massive part of that team that finished 6th, and obviously he was an academy graduate. He came through Villa's academy. I think he played youth football with John Terry as well. So obviously yesterday would have been tough for JT as well. It seems to be a horrible pattern at the moment. We've lost a lot of Villa players that I watched when I was young, and that wasn't that long ago. So there's been some real tragic things that have happened to our ex-players over the last few years. So just send his family, like you, send our condolences, and we wish everyone all the best, because he's truly too young to die in horrible circumstances, having just dropped his kids off at school, and God knows how the family are going to get through it, but hopefully with support and love from everyone they will. Yeah,
and there was an outpouring of that support last night. There was obviously a minute's applause, but the crowd rang out, didn't they, for Holt Enders in the Sky, and it was a really poignant and touching moment, I thought. And obviously that's no condolence right now, but there's a huge family base around Villa, and I thought that was really really pertinent last night.
Yeah, horrible.
Well, I mean, that's horrible and sad news, but the ultimate news was good for Villa last night. It was a 0-0 draw. It was pretty hard to watch, but it was the 0-0 that Villa needed, 1-0 on aggregate against Middlesbrough. Villa go through to Wembley, the playoff cup final, and Fulham await. Dan, talk us over the 2 legs. It's pretty hard to do this.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to do it
in chronological order, but we'll kind of touch on it. But over the 2 legs, what did you make of Villa?
I mean, first off, you said at the start that you were looking forward to getting here. I was looking forward to doing the podcast, but I feel like I've been spending a bit too much time with you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Over the last week or so, it just feels like I've seen you. I actually have seen you more than I've seen my wife.
Yeah, that's
because I was with you all day, Saturday with you. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time with you.
Not just all day, but I mean, it took us a peek behind the curtain. On Saturday, we went up to Middlesbrough, which was great, but I left my house at 6:30 in the morning, got back I got back to your house, didn't even make it home at 1:30, and then yesterday was a 2:30 finish as well. Not complaining at all, because it was absolutely brilliant.
Worth it.
But a lot of time together on the road.
Listen, I can just see my eyes through the camera now, and they do not look pretty. I thought they looked quite bad on the video from Saturday, but they look worse today. But ultimately, I think we didn't do it in the way I expected us to.
Right.
I didn't think it would be so backs against the wall. I mean, I'm saying backs against the wall. I didn't feel like we were under huge pressure. I felt like we were letting them have the ball and saying, come and have a go at us then, see if you can break us down. And ultimately, that they couldn't do that. But I was surprised at the lack of ambition going forwards last night. I thought Saturday was played absolutely perfectly. I mean, it shows you how important set pieces are, because that one set piece has decided the entire destiny of the two legs. So credit to Bruce for picking Jedinak, because I probably didn't have him in my team. I didn't think he'd start, but he came in and ended up being the difference maker.
Yeah.
But he was just really, really tight, quite cagey. Although I felt in more trouble on Saturday than I did yesterday. I know that's a bit weird, but I didn't feel that much danger. The free kick was the only time I remember feeling particularly worried. I mean, we'll come on to it probably, but looking back now, after having seen it back, Johnstone probably should have been sent off. So we've got away with one there. Middlesbrough will be furious that that's been allowed to happen. But overall, I think tactically it wasn't pretty, but ultimately it worked. So Bruce can look back and say, I got that absolutely bang on. Yeah,
so Saturday, 2,000 fans travelled to Middlesbrough, and let's talk about that for a second, because we set our stall out to defend. We had a couple of counter attacks, but like you say, Millie Jedinak's wonderful header was the difference there. We didn't. Some people in the comments have talked about Lewis Grabban maybe not working as hard. I don't think it was him not working hard, but he was so isolated because we sat back, we took on the Borough pressure. Alan Hutton did a wonderful job, both legs actually, but particularly on Saturday with Adama Traore, just following him around and not giving him a moment's peace. And every time Traore got the ball on Saturday, he was hit by Jedinak, Hutton, Hourihane. Everybody was putting their bodies on the line.
Yeah, Snodgrass as well. I think him and Hourihane in particular, over the course of the two legs, must have run 3 or 4 marathons. They just never gave up. And I think I'd have it down over the two legs. I think those two set the tone with their work rate and their endeavour. But like you say, quite nice to see Villa be quite innovative. I mean, I think it kind of had to happen, because really people have been playing left back who aren't left back all season. But the fact that Hutton could just swap over, we've had right backs at left back all season, so I thought that worked quite nicely, that wherever Traore played, Hutton followed. I was quite surprised they didn't start Traore in the middle on last night. I thought they might do that to try and isolate that tactic, because it was clear we were going to try and do the same thing again.
That's a really good idea. You should be a manager.
Oh, well, I'm doing all right in Football Manager at the moment, so.
I didn't even think about that. That's an excellent idea.
Thank you, Tom.
Very well done.
I do try.
Yeah. Britt Assombalonga had the best chances of Saturday. Traore, the one real chance he created, he put in a nice cross. Assombalonga never really had the angle on it. And the other one, he had a bullet effort at the front post.
Johnstone had that covered.
Johnstone had it covered. But Johnstone, we'll come on to last night as well, but in both legs, he didn't really get threatened too much. You know, the defence did such a good job, and Jedinak and Hourihane kind of protecting them as well. We were so dogged throughout that Johnstone actually didn't have to deal with very much at all.
No, I mean, I think the whole team worked very hard in general. I think they were just particularly up for it because of the nature of the place. But I read in the paper today something about saying even Jack Grealish was tracking back more than usual. Whoever the journo was, he's been doing that ever since he came into the side after his injury. They all absolutely run the socks off. There's no one you could in that starting 11 that you could accuse of being lazy. That's why I was surprised that few people have had a pop at Grabban, because to me his work rate was fine, and if you saw Codger come on in the first leg, you'd realise Grabban's work rate was actually exceptional. Yeah,
well, let's talk about that for a second, because Grabban, as I said earlier, was very isolated. We weren't really playing to get Grabban the ball, but Codger came on for Adoma with about 20 minutes to go, and Grabban moved out to the left, but Codger looked like the game we were 4-0 up. He kind of strolled around the park, didn't really put himself about at all, picked the ball up a couple of times and lost it very, very easily. And I must admit, I thought that he'd played himself out of the second leg.
Me too.
Thought his attitude was appalling, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, he was frustrating me. So you stood next to me, so you were aware that what he was doing was frustrating me. And I think the players that went over and had a go at him, I think they had every right to at that time, because to me they were running their socks off, putting their body on the line, and it wasn't matched by someone who had just come on the pitch. And I get that when you come on, maybe it's hard to get into the rhythm of the game, but to me it was basically closing down.
Yeah,
I thought, but he came on last night and he was different. He worked hard. He'd obviously taken the advice or the rollicking that he got on board.
Yeah. So we got a question from Timmy from Oz, who talked about the striker situation, and we will talk a lot about Fulham next week, because obviously we've got a week now until the final. So
long time.
Yeah, 10 days. So we've got a whole podcast to dissect Fulham. So we're going to do that next week. But Timmy from Oz was saying, does Grabban still deserve his place to start up front, do you think, or is Hogan? We were so high on Hogan for a couple of months, and now he seems to be the forgotten man again.
To me, probably with the exception of Bree, if Elmo's back, I think the 11 picks itself for the final if everyone's fit. And I think Jednak's played his way into the team. I can't see any way in which he doesn't start at Wembley. And I think someone said in the comments or the questions that Jednak came in against Wolves, who play a similar brand of football to Fulham, and he did a very good job. So he'll be rested up as well. Sometimes the concern is that he can't play 2 games in short succession, but again, he proved yesterday that he can do that.
He's a big game player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's calm as well. On Saturday when we'd won, you could see he was telling the players, "Don't get too excited. There's still a long way to go," and I know that the players are feeling that way. Still now, there's still a long way to go. There's nothing to celebrate at the moment, so that's really good to hear and a positive. They know what they've got to do.
From Scott Hogan's perspective, he must feel a little bit aggrieved at how he kind of came in, won a vast majority of the Villa fans over, because he wasn't a particularly popular figure for the fans, and played really well, worked really hard, said the right things as well in press conferences, and now he's kind of gone all the way back into obscurity. Seems a harsh word, but he's not even featuring now. He must be feeling like, what's happened this season?
I think he can feel a little bit hard done by that Codger's just come straight back and he's ahead of him. Obviously Codger was an absolute trailblazer for us last season, but his fitness isn't there. You can see at the moment he's not the same player, but I get that he is a bit of a wild card option. Off the bench he might do something a little bit magical on his own that will win you the game, where you'd probably say Hogan's a bit more reliant on service, so bringing him on as a sub, usually we're protecting something, but I think he would have been the right sub to bring on Saturday, because I think purely and simply he would have closed down. He would have done the dirty things that we needed at that point rather than Codger. So he's had a mixed season, because he couldn't get in the team at the start of the season. Nothing was going his way. He had that middle period. He had that period just after Christmas and around Christmas where he was scoring goals, and we thought, finally, here he goes. But then, to be honest, through no fault of his own, really, Grabban's come in and grabbed his chance and just looked to threaten. Out of all the strikers, I think Grabban does a little bit of everything. He's relatively quick, decent in the air. His hold-up play is quite good. I think if you take all the attributes of Hogan, Davis and Codger, I think Grabban does a little bit of everything that they all do, so it makes sense that he's the one that plays. I don't see anyone else start leading the line in the playoff final other than Grabban, to be fair now. Yeah,
fair enough. So took a 1-0 lead back to Villa Park Tuesday night. It's fair to say that I felt the atmosphere was brilliant, especially with the as we built up, and you could hear the roars around Villa Park. It felt very excitable. Like I'm not as regular a visitor to Villa Park as you, and you remember some classic games.
Yeah.
How did you find the atmosphere?
I thought it was very good. I thought before the game you could sense the anticipation and the excitement around the ground. You just wanted the game to get started, get into it, and know what our destiny was going to be. I then think it dropped a little bit. I don't think the atmosphere, this is just my personal opinion, because I'm not saying the atmosphere wasn't good, because it was very good, but to me it wasn't as special as I thought it was going to be. But I think that probably stems from the style of play that we were offering, and I'm not knocking the style of play, because ultimately it's got us through, and that's the important thing, so I'm not knocking it at all. But to me, it was someone who was at the Wolves and the Birmingham games, I don't think the atmosphere was quite as good as those two games, but that's just personal opinion. And then I don't know whether we were going to come on to it, but at the end I felt, again, if people are entitled to do what they like, it's your life. This is just my opinion, but I think the people going on the pitch spoilt it a little bit because the rest of the ground, people in the upper tiers like myself, you don't get to celebrate with the players. You don't get that bit at the end of the game where the players come towards the whole end and you get to celebrate for them. So I felt that divided the fans a little bit. You've got those on the pitch who think they're doing the right thing, they're celebrating a great night for Villa, but then you've got the rest of the ground who haven't got on the pitch and have obeyed instructions, essentially, who want to celebrate with the team, and that's taken away from them.
Yeah, no, it's
so that's to me that spoilt it a little bit, but that's just personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you in that I didn't want a pitch invasion, but I agree in different circumstances because I don't feel like the job is done yet. And
that's the other thing.
This has been a widely talked about point on social media, and that I'm not breaking any news here. We are not up yet. We're still in the Championship for all intents and purposes. And I saw it on Monday night with Fulham, and
it looked. I didn't like it then.
No, and I mean, you look a bit foolish if you're running the pitch and you're celebrating that much. And I think you look at the photos of Jack Grealish and a couple of the other guys, and they absolutely loved it. And maybe that is good. Maybe they are. Maybe it was the right thing to do. But for me, it feels like it's slightly too early. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man.
No, I agree. I didn't even touch on that bit, but I agree with you completely. From that point of view, we haven't won anything, and essentially now, either us or Fulham's going to look very silly.
Yeah.
Because you can guarantee those photos will be coming back out. That footage will be played again of running on the pitch like you've won the Champions League.
Yeah.
It comes back and haunts you, and that's the thing. If everyone stays in the seat, everyone in the ground gets to enjoy the win. The players get to enjoy it a bit more, because some of the players won't have liked the fans coming on the pitch because it can be a bit intimidating.
Yeah,
I imagine. And also there's some people that run on the pitch, and this happened with at Millwall when the Millwall fans came on the pitch. They just head straight for the away fans.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you've got a tweet that we wanted to read out. I think it was from Alex.
Alex Boulevant.
Yeah, go on.
There
it is.
The chanting wasn't great, but a lot of fans were denied the chance to celebrate and applaud the players. I felt it killed the atmosphere. Fans were repeatedly asked not to invade it, and people ignored it, which caused the frustration. It's a shame the night ended that way. And I agree with that. I mean, Russ Handy's commented back on that, saying, take your point, seeing Terry do his trademark mini jump would have been nice, I guess. Just didn't feel right to hear all the where were you when stuff. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about here. Yeah. There's already been more than enough discord at AVFC in recent years. Don't like to see fans turning on each other, but I can completely get why that happened. And essentially you were told not to go on the pitch. The PA couldn't have been any clearer about going on the pitch. People the West Midlands Police have reacted and said that they'll prosecute people.
One guy,
if they can,
because it's on Sky as well. There's so much footage. I think there's one young lad who had a
pyro,
who had a flare, and he's already been recognised and faced a 3-year ban.
It's not worth it,
which,
is it?
I mean, yeah, is it worth it? That's up to you, your decision. Interesting one for the comments, because it has divided fans, really. Obviously, there's a number of fans that wanted to get on the pitch, and I mean, it's not your right. You're not allowed to do it, but you did it anyway. So if you want to comment, not naming names, because that might be a bit silly, but yeah, if you were on the pitch and you had a good time, good for you. And if you like that kind of thing,
in my bad books,
great, yeah, but you're never getting a follow off Dan.
No, but it's at the end of the day, people are entitled to do whatever they see fit, and I do think once a few go on, you've got the people in the crowd that'll think, well, I may as well go on, as well. So I get why it happened. It like the guys who we just read the comments from, it didn't sit particularly well with me, because it does cause a disparity between the fans. It's almost like there's an us and a them, when essentially you all support the same team. But I didn't agree with it. That's my opinion. I'm sure I'll take some stick for not agreeing with it, but that's life.
Yeah, Russ, you'd never take stick.
No.
Russ Handy also asks about our heads this morning. I'm a bit sorry to disappoint you. I had 2 beers last night.
I had none.
Yeah.
I had none on Saturday.
No, we didn't have a single beer.
We did a professional job on Saturday.
We didn't have a single beer on Saturday.
No, so I'm tired though.
Yeah,
I do feel particularly tired today. We obviously we may as well say, Tom, you'll be surprised to learn missed his train back to London, so I had to bail him out.
I do have a issue with this and a bugbear. I will first of all say a massive thanks to Dan and David Bardell who came and got me, and Robbo, the other member of the Cambridge Mafia. We were.
I don't like this Cambridge Mafia because there is nothing about you and Robbo.
I think that's
at
the
all.
point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Cambridge isn't a very threatening.
I reckon you and
place.
Robbo could go and try and mug someone, and you'd end up being mugged.
Yeah.
mug yourselves.
I wish I had a pocket to rip off. So we, Robbo and I, we went to see fan cams for just a short while, and we left ourselves about 45 minutes, 50 minutes to get the train back to New Street, and I just couldn't get on. Like the trains, this is a bit of a. Well, I don't know if it's a regular thing.
I agree with you on this.
But there aren't enough trains, and the trains are all 4 carriages. They come every 15, 20 minutes or so. And forgive me if I've got this wrong, and usually they're better, but I've been on Saturdays, and I'm sure there's more trains.
Saturdays are okay, but if it's a night game or it's an evening, like a Saturday tea time kick-off, you're struggling.
Yeah.
There's not enough trains on. Someone needs to use some common sense here that 40,000 people are going to a football ground, and a lot are going to want to take public transport.
Yeah.
We went through a phase when my dad first got his free bus pass, not his free pass for public transport.
Right.
He was like, right, we're not driving anymore to Villa Park. We'll get the train. And we started doing it for a bit, but like you say, it was just an absolute nightmare, and he quickly had his tail between his legs.
But not only that, so we were waiting for the train, but we were like, we don't think we're going to get on here. Between me and Robbo, we called ourselves 4 Ubers. They all got to within 4 minutes and kept cancelling on us. Now, if I do that to Uber, they charge me. Did I get money back? Did I?
No.
Heck.
Tommy's the Cambridge Mafia are not.
Do you know what? Cambridge Mafia.
We'll leave the travel segment there.
Well, I rang Dan, and he bailed me out.
You
and
actually put the phone down on me at one point, which was quite rude.
Well, that's because you told me to get on the train to Sutton.
That's true.
And I had to run to get the train to Sutton, then you rang me back.
That's true.
But anyway,
fair enough.
then you drove all the way back home, and me and Robert were massively thankful.
And
for
the
that.
motorway was shut. A bit of the motorway was shut. That didn't help either. But that is enough after travel.
Yeah.
Travel woes.
I did want to mention the both sets of away fans. Obviously, Middlesbrough fans last night I thought were in very good voice. I thought they were.
I don't recall hearing them.
Do you not? So
really.
You were obviously the far side. I was in the north stand, so I could hear them a bit better. But I thought they were good. I thought they were good value. It's a tough place to come on a Tuesday night when you're 1-0 down.
That's a long way as we can, sir.
And attest to that. But the Villa fans on Saturday, I mean, again, I should say another thank you, and I feel very lucky that I was there on Saturday, because we were doing a job for Aston Villa Official, and you can check the video out on YouTube, which is a little plug, but there are a lot of fans there who go every single week, and I felt like I'd got an experience which I'll never forget. It was absolutely brilliant. The fans were in great voice all the way through, it was just absolutely brilliant. I thought Villa's away support definitely won the tie.
I think we'd beat most teams in the away support stakes. I think I've been to a fair amount of away games, and Saturday was, I think, my favourite now. I think it tops the lot. It was just such a good day, and I didn't feel it as much last night for some reason, maybe because we were ahead going into the game, and because I'd experienced Saturday, the playoffs didn't feel as new to me. But Saturday, I'd never experienced feelings like it. Just feels like it means so much. And obviously I wasn't alive when we won the European Cup. I can't imagine what that was like to sit through with Villa being 1-0 up and maybe hanging on.
Yeah.
But because of what the playoffs means and the impact it can have on the following seasons, it just feels so big. Even bigger than cup finals I've been to. It just feels absolutely massive.
Yeah. It was brilliant. It was kind of one of them moments where hands stand up hands. Oh my goodness, hairs stand up on the back of your hand, and it was just. Yeah, electrifying.
You'll attest to this. I was visibly shaking at the end of the game when we were trying to blurt out an outro before the coach left. I think if you haven't watched that video on Villa's YouTube, it's worth a watch, because I think it does capture the day quite well and what the playoffs are all about. And we really, really enjoyed doing it. So yeah, thanks to Villa for asking us to do that, because it was absolutely brilliant.
We should talk a little bit more about any players that really stood out for you. We've mentioned a couple. We've mentioned Hutton, Hurahan, Snodgrass. Is there anyone else that you can think of that really set the tone for our playoff win?
I think the players we spoke about would be the ones that stood out for me. I think you got to look on Saturday that Sam Johnstone was actually going through the mill a little bit, wasn't he? Because his missus was in the middle of giving birth, I think, whilst the game was going on. So his head can't have been 100% in the right place, but he acquitted himself very well and dealt with what he needed to. And really, he had every right to miss that game in those circumstances. But he wanted to play. He wanted to be part of the promotion push. I think he deserves some credit. I think Bree deserves some credit for coming in on last night, because he's come in at difficult times, bit out from the cold really. He's not on the bench one week and then next week he's thrown into the biggest game of the season. It happened with the Cardiff game as well. He wasn't supposed to be on the bench and he ended up coming on as an early sub and playing most of that game. So I think he deserves some credit as well. You can tell he's a little bit low on confidence.
I was going to say, you and I disagree a little bit there, because I thought,
you're being a bit harsh.
I thought Bree looked very nervous. I thought he gave the ball away quite a lot last night. I understand that he's come in from the cold, but I mean, he's a professional footballer at the end of the day. I thought if they were going to break us, it was going to be because of James Bree. There was a point where George Friend, I think, ran all the way down the byline and just skipped past Bree as if he wasn't there. And I think Bree even kind of like swang and missed, like he was.
That can happen, though. That can happen to anyone.
Of course it can. But I thought, particularly in the first half, I think he grew into the game a little bit more. But he looked a little bit of a concern. I would hope that El Mohammadi is back for next week. We didn't even talk about Sam Johnstone.
The sending off.
And the sending off. I mean, if you haven't seen the game, this is well worth watching the highlights of. But
I'd imagine most people listening to this have seen it.
But you never know. I think I always say that.
If you're listening to this, the chances are you've watched the game.
If the Villa View podcast is your main source of Villa news, then, I mean...
No, can't they?
Get the app or something like that. Sam Johnstone, there was a bit of a mix-up, a bit of confusion. I think it was James Chester who was dealing with it, but Sam Johnstone kind of ran out because he thought he needed to clear it, realised he was in absolute no man's land, tried to backtrack. The striker, I can't remember if it was Bamford or...
It was Traore.
Was it Traore?
Who had the shot. Traore had the shot.
All right, so Traore has the effort, and Johnstone just instinctively reaches out, handballs
that's worth mentioning. I think it was quite instinctive.
Yeah.
But he was not in his area.
Yeah, so he was about a yard and a half or so outside of his area for sure. Mike Dean blows the whistle, and me and Robbo just look at each other and go, oh no, not just because Mark Bunn will come in goal. Sam Johnson's getting sent off at this point. Not just because Mark Bunn has to see out the next 10 minutes or so, but because Sam Johnson's then out for the final. And then we might be in some serious trouble. Mike Dean gives the free kick, pulls out a yellow card, which is mind-boggling, really.
Especially for Mike Dean, who loves to be the centre of attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And the free kick's given. Downing hits the bar with the free kick, but everyone around Villa Park breathes a sigh of relief with that. And that, oh my goodness, my heart was in my mouth.
We absolutely got away with one. I mean, I sit in the hole, so it was at the other end. To me, so I wasn't 100% sure what was going on.
Yeah.
Because there's no way of me seeing whether he was outside his area or not. But looking back on it, we have 100% got away with one there. If that had been the other way around, we'd have been baying for blood.
Yeah.
Absolutely baying for blood. So... yeah, it's nice to get away with things. Hopefully, things don't even themselves up in the next week or so. Because we've had bad decisions against us this season, but that was very fortunate. But I still think we would have held on and won. I think it would have been the blow that he'd have been out in the final. That would have been mammoth.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's in the books. Villa are on the way to Wembley. You can certain members of the fan base can get their season their tickets for the final now. You've already got yours.
Mine today. Yeah, 5 o'clock. I was there. I think I found quite a sneaky workaround. I stumbled upon something that seemed to work for me in the queuing system, and I got through quite quickly.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done. So you and your dad will be enjoying, or hopefully enjoying Wembley.
We've got Mr. Grumpy sat with us as well. Aston Radford. I've got his ticket as well. I had his reference to my account, so I got him his ticket so he can sit with us. I'm not paying for it, I should say. No, he's going to come and sit with us as well, Mr. Grumpy. He never smiles, Aston.
No,
he loves.
I met him last night.
He never smiles. He loves Henry Lansborough. If Lansbury's not involved, he doesn't want to know.
It's interesting, Aston. I met him for the first time last night, and he's given me some stick on Twitter before.
All fair.
Oh, well, yeah, usually. And
he doesn't get much right, Aston, but he's got that right.
And I said, well, now you can give me some stick in person.
He bowled it. He's only bowled it.
Cambridge Mafia, mate.
Oh my God!
Don't touch him.
Oh my God!
I will say,
he's been to one white collar boxing match.
The last kind of humble brag from me is that I met a bunch of people that I don't usually see at the football, and it was really nice to meet people who like the channel, so thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for coming up. I met a guy called Patrick in Birmingham New Street Station, which was quite surreal. JD AVFC.
Are you remembering all these names?
Yeah, I've written them all down. No, I haven't. But yeah, a bunch of great people. So yeah, thank you for coming to say hello, and yeah, that was good.
While we're still talking about travelling and away days and whatnot, I've got to tell some stories.
Oh no,
the Villa View public will want to hear some of the things that you did, that you got up to.
I mean, they're not that bad.
The cardigan you wore has took some steps.
Okay, if you're going to watch the Aston Villa YouTube video just for the cardi, I really like that cardigan.
Not many other people do. I can't see that go. I can't see many people turning up wearing a cardigan to the Villa anytime soon, if I'm being fair. He also should mention someone had holes in his shoes when he turned up at Villa Park to get the coach to Borough on Saturday, and he's turned up to the podcast tonight with holes in his other shoes at the bottom of the shoe this time.
Right, these ones broke today. Yeah. Literally today. The trainers, they're my only pair of trainers. That sounds really scabby.
That is scabby. I think I've got about 20 pairs of trainers.
I've been meaning to go shopping.
Borrow a pair of mine.
I thought you might bring me some as a birthday.
I should mention that it is actually, while I'm slagging him off, it is Tom's birthday today, and he's come to do the podcast. I haven't got him a present because I couldn't think of anything clever to do, so I could have got him a watch or something to make him keep his time a little bit better, but I didn't think of anything. So happy birthday. It's 29, is it?
29
years young. I remember 29.
Yeah.
Feels like it was a long time ago, actually. It was only 3 years ago, but it does feel like a long time ago. But my favourite moment from the away day at Borough was when, obviously, we had this camera crew following us around. There was some quite vigorous chanting going on in the in the concourse, and
there were tops everywhere. Yeah, the naked guys.
The camera guys were like, "Go and get involved, you two. Let's go and get involved." So we like kind of walked over, started singing the songs at the top of our voice. But Tom took this as if he was on stage. It was like I suddenly thought I was in a West End musical, because Tom was singing the songs and some of the hand gestures and the way he was singing, "We're on the way, we're on the way to the Premier League, we're on the way." It was unbelievable. I think you had to be there. Probably no one else will find that funny, but I thought it was unbelievable.
All I can say is, if you're going to do it right.
Why did that not make the video? I wish that had made the video.
So there you go.
Also, sorry, he did one more thing. This will be the last you hear of Tom's.
What did you do?
Nothing wrong.
No.
I was perfect. Also, we were on the coach, and there was some quite suspect music playing in the coach on the way there. It wasn't really getting me in the mood, to be fair. And then a song came on. I'd describe it as a power ballad. And Tom sat there. Bearing in mind, I mean, we were with a good bunch of lads on the coach as well.
Yeah,
proper men's men. I would describe the people on the coach with us.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And Tom, speaking to me, utters this sentence. Oh, I love this song. It reminds me of the film Bridesmaids. I was like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? I said, it's an away day, Tom, not a trip to the theatre.
I mean, one, Bridesmaids is a cinema classic, not theatre.
It's a decent film. You don't talk about it on an away day.
2, I'd say it's more of a girl power tune rather than.
That's even worse.
And 3, it's just a massive tune. Wilson Phillips.
Christ, yeah,
love it.
Unbelievable. Well done to Tom. How Tom didn't get beaten up on this away day, I really don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it's because they felt sorry for me because of my shoes
and your cardigan.
Yeah, maybe. Right, so. Off to Wembley, 26th of May, 5 p.m. As I say, tickets are out now. I think the prices range from £36 to £97.
Quite pricey. I know you're happy with that.
Well, I mean, that's Wembley prices, isn't it?
No, but it shouldn't be that much.
I think if you thought it was going to be any less,
I didn't. But I'm saying it shouldn't. But
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not like it's gone up loads from FA Cup.
It's gone up a couple of pounds from playoff last year. It's only a couple of quid, but that's
Yeah.
It's expensive to follow a team round, and those prices do not help.
Yeah, well, I think you overcharged me for my FA Cup ticket then a couple of years ago. I paid a fortune for that, and that was terrible.
I think the fact that you got a ticket was very fortunate, and if you'd have been going through other channels, I think you'd have had to have paid a lot more, Thomas.
Oh, I don't know. I think I might should have
charged you the going rate.
Should have saved my money.
I charged you. Well, yeah, there was no point going.
So we're going to meet Fulham in the final. Who do you think is going to be the favourites out of that game?
I genuinely think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
We won at Villa Park, they won at Craven Cottage. Okay, they finished 3rd, we finished 4th, so by that respect you'd probably say they're the favourites. I'd say we've got a bit more experience and nous in these kind of occasions, but I think they've got the kind of youthful naivety of, and I think they've got a bit of pace as well. They've certainly got more pace than we have. I think they overplay a little bit at times. Both times they've come to Villa Park in the Football League, I've thought they're playing out from the back, but they're overplaying. Bruce has been there before. Then again, Jukanovic has got promotion before, albeit not through the playoffs. I don't think I'm right in thinking Fulham have never won at Wembley.
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
so they've never won at Wembley. Someone on Fancam said on Fancams last night that it falls on the same day, the 26th of May, that when Villa won the European Cup in 1982. So that's a nice little omen. So yeah. I can't split it. I genuinely think it's 50-50.
I feel like one of our biggest advantages going into that game is the players that we've got. Like Fulham are a great side, and they've got some young, attacking, wonderful players like Sessegnon, Fredericks on the other side. Mitrovic has been in great form, but we've got real winners in our dressing room.
Yeah.
You know, like John Terry, James Chester, Snodgrass is a winner. Hourihan, you could tell last night on Saturday, he was throwing himself into every challenge. He is a winner. They're all winners. We've got a changing room full of winners, and I hope that I really believe that that's going to be the difference come next Saturday. Two good squads going together, but I feel like we might have the edge because of that.
Go through our 11 that we think that will play. Johnston in goal, come through Man U. They breed winners all the way through their club. In my eyes, he is now the best goalkeeper in the Championship. I don't care that John Ruddy got in the team of the season. Johnston is better than him. You've got El Mohammadi, been up through the playoffs before, knows what it's all about. Chester, been up through the playoffs, knows what it's all about. Scored a goal in an FA Cup final at Wembley, arguably the best centre back in the league. John Terry, we all know his CV. I don't even need to reel off all the things he's done. Alan Hutton has shown one of the most resilience that I've ever seen from a Villa player.
Champions League footballer.
Has he played the Champions League?
Played for Spurs.
Oh yeah, you're right. So he's played in big occasions, and the way he's turned his career around is absolutely unbelievable. Where to the point where you wouldn't be surprised if once again he's been told he's not getting a contract, and he's going to get one. I would say. Jedinak's been up through the playoffs with Crystal Palace. Snodgrass has been up through the playoffs with Hull. He's played lots of big occasions. Adoma on the other wing's done playoffs with Middlesbrough, I believe. Or he's done autos with Middlesbrough. Oh no, he's actually lost a playoff final with Middlesbrough to Norwich, but he's been promoted, knows what it's all about, scored 15 goals this season. Grealish, in probably his 5th or 6th senior start, went to Wembley and absolutely dominated a good Liverpool side in the past, and he's arguably one of the best players in the Championship. Conor Hourihan runs his socks off, absolute winner, as you've already alluded to. And Graben as well. He's been through the mill in the Football League as well. He's been around the block. So every one of those 11 has got something that you look at and you think they've got something there.
I think you've named at least 4 captains there.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They're all captains as well. I mean, Jedinak's captain at Palace. Hourihan was captain at Barnsley. Terry, Chester. The leaders just roll off the tongue.
Yeah, and I really hope that's going to be the difference. We're going to, as I say, we're going to get into Fulham next week a little bit more. Rob Henry had a question about tactical changes, style of play, size of the pitch, all that kind of stuff. There's loads to get into, and I'm kind of hoping that I'll put a real nice stat pack together of notes.
I think a big pitch will suit us as much as them. I mean, Craven Cottage isn't the biggest pitch.
You weren't as excited about my notes there as I thought you might.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't really. I hear the word notes. And
you just cut me off completely.
Your stat pack next week is going to be immense.
Yeah,
I can almost feel it. Yeah, I'm confident, but I do think you can't split the teams for different reasons. I think it's 50-50.
On getting to Wembley, Bruce said, "I'm delighted for everyone associated with the club, those who work for it and support it, but especially the latter. They make this a big club. They deserve it, and now we have to win. Can we overcome Fulham in the final now? If we do, it will be a fantastic end to the season." I feel like Bruce's relationship with the fans has got better as the season's progressed, particularly in the last part, where he seems to have been. He was kind of at odds, wasn't he, throughout much of the season with the players, with the fans. He said a few things. The fans obviously weren't particularly happy when it looked like we might be struggling, but the relationship seems to have got better, and Bruce seems to be certainly respecting the fans.
I will say the home fans have never got on his back. I've heard every now and again you get a loud person pipe up and say stuff, but in the main, I've never heard the home fans turn on Bruce in his whole tenure here. I think they've been behind him from minute one, and most have absolutely believed in him 110%. There was a little bit, I think it was after the Brentford game, he got a lot of stick from the away fans that day, a lot of it very harsh. I thought, although we were struggling at the time, I still don't think he deserved the stick that he was getting. If he gets us up, he'll be remembered very, very fondly by a lot of Villa fans for the rest of his managerial career, for the rest of the fans' time on this earth. Because really, I think we have been crying out for someone who can get the club together. Some people might not like him tactically at times, and yesterday was a hard watch. The players was a hard watch, but in the main, he gets the job done. And behind the scenes, he has absolutely 110% brought the players together and brought the club together in a way that I don't think many managers would have been able to come in and do.
Unless you've got anything else to say on the playoffs, I want to finish with a quote from John Terry.
Go on then. I don't think I've heard this, so this will be nice for me.
The support for the lads has been unbelievable. The dressing room is superb too, an incredible team spirit amongst the squad. One more step and it will be the dream. That's just kind of... You see a lot of photos coming out at the moment of the lads training together, and there's always smiles on the faces. I don't just think this is words from John Terry. I think this is the closest that the Aston Villa squad has been in years, and it's showing on the pitch, it's showing when they celebrate together, and that's what makes me excited for Saturday.
Other than maybe Brian Little's 95-96 team, in my time, I don't remember a tighter knit bunch. You can tell they genuinely are all pulling in the same direction. They all love each other. Even just a simple thing of when one of them posts on Instagram, there's always a couple of the players commenting back, either having banter or genuinely outpouring nice feelings towards them. You can tell they all love each other. They're like it's a real band of brothers. I'd actually like to know, I'd probably never find this out, John Terry's obviously been in lots of dressing rooms, lots of successful dressing rooms. I'd love to know where this dressing room ranked. Because it's not going to be top, I wouldn't have thought, because he's played with people like Drogba, Lampard, top players for a long time.
And his mates,
won the Champions League together. Like you can't.
Yeah.
I don't think that we'd be beating stuff like that. But I bet we're in the top three.
Yeah.
I bet it's up there. If he looks back on seasons, I bet he'll say this is one of the best dressing rooms he's ever been in.
Oh yeah. I also think it feels to me like there must have been a turning point where the dressing room really started to click. You know, John Terry came in, took the captaincy. That was all fine, but it maybe took him a little while to get his ideas and the way he wanted people to act and get that throughout the whole squad. I'd love to know when the turning point was where they all kind of clicked and just went, yes, we've got this. So it'd be fascinating to be a fly on the wall.
You know what I think it was?
Go on.
I think it's Snodgrass.
Yeah.
I think him coming in, he's exactly the kind of character that every dressing room needs, because he takes everything deadly seriously. He works hard. He's got very, very high standards, but also he's a very funny guy.
Yeah.
You can't help but like him. I think any Villa fans that have seen his videos, you just love him.
Yeah.
Just from those videos. And when I was at the training ground a few weeks ago, you could just tell that he's absolutely priceless, brilliant. So I think him coming in at the end of August, I think that will have been maybe when it started to come together. Because he said in the podcast he did with Villa that he comes in and he's himself straight away. Like he doesn't take him time to settle in. He's just himself instantly. And the other players as well, people like Whelan, they'll have been unbelievable for the dressing room. Yednat was here last season. See, Bruce has said about Grealish that he's got people he can hang his hat on now, that people he can look at, and he can say, oh, if they're doing those things, I need to be doing them. So I've got a feeling that might have been the turning point when Snodgrass came in, but obviously I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah. Good. We should touch on the under-23s. They had some playoff disappointment on Saturday afternoon. They lost 2-0 to Brighton in the Premier League 2 playoff final. They've had such a good season, the under-23s, and obviously beat Swansea in the Cup in the same week. So it's been a real tough slog, really, for the under-23s. A lot of extra times, penalties. You know, they've been through the mill. They will have learned an awful lot this season, the under-23s. It's just a shame they couldn't finish it off on Saturday in style.
Yeah, it looks like it was kind of a step too far. I understand they were a bit leggy.
Yeah.
I think, which is not surprising considering the amount of games and the amount of extra time and penalties and stuff they've been through recently. It's upsetting. I mean, I said last week, ultimately, if they win it doesn't mean anything. I stand by that because I just think the barometer is how many come through, not just make it at Villa, but how many make it as top footballers at the highest levels. Because we've let players go in the past who've gone and had great careers. Jonathan Hogg, captaining Huddersfield, to probably arguably their greatest achievement ever.
Yep.
Staying up, people like Barry Bannon, a lot of players have come through and had good careers elsewhere. Cahill, well, he's had he's had a superb career, hasn't he? But he's won pretty much everything in the domestic game. Won the Champions League. I think he'll look back on his career and think, I didn't do bad there for someone who was sold because they weren't good enough by Martin O'Neill. But we won't get into Martin. O'Neill. We'll give him a week off.
Yeah, for sure.
Hope to God he never gets hired back at Villa at any point.
You will be banned from the club.
I'll be in all kinds of trouble.
No doubt about that. Not too much else to talk about. Obviously, the main news is the playoffs, and that's been absolutely fantastic, and we're excited.
Just
now.
Chuffed.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrilled to bits because we didn't this time last week. We did not know what was going to happen, and it's great to sit here and know that the club's done. I mean, like I said last night, it's a trilogy.
Yep.
We've done well in the first two parts. Quite often in trilogies, the third film's not that great. So let's hope the third film's brilliant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, it's been an amazing week. Got to see my baby to be for the first time, which is
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I don't know why I felt the need to do that then, because it would have been clear. It would have been clear that I've offered you congratulations at some point.
But thank you to all the people that I've never met before who've said congratulations on some really wonderful things. It's even more credence to the Villa family, and just throws weight behind the fact that everybody is in it together. So thank you for that. There's been some beautiful messages.
When's your baby due?
24th of November. So there'll be a baby podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the pipeline. No, there won't be. But
we should do it.
I guess there'll be regular updates on here.
People want to know. I'm sure the first Villa View baby.
Yes.
Right, nothing really to do with me. I've not really.
I hope not.
No. We'll soon find out.
Yeah.
If he comes out with a stonking nose, we'll know that I might have had something to do with it. Great news. Really thrilled for you, Tom.
Yep.
You've already debunked my first name suggestion.
Well, I haven't. So in the comment section, I'd love some Villa legend name potentials. Dan went early with Marlon.
Did you want to have it? Were you?
I was up for listening.
Marlon Julian. I came up with Marlon Daniel Julian.
I was listening. My wife less keen on that one. Hoppo Ben.
Does she know about Marlon?
No, she hasn't got a clue.
Tell you what, don't let Hoppo Ben write a lullaby. You'll never get to sleep.
Hoppo Ben, I think it was Hoppo Ben who suggested Joachim Julian, which...
Interesting choice.
Very clever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that was going to get through the vetting process. Oh, I should mention as well, Hoppo Ben got a lot of chat on Saturday.
He did. You mentioned his name about 7 times.
We were talking about you a lot. A lot of good chants from Saturday, which weren't replicated on Tuesday night, unfortunately.
There was some great chants on Saturday that we didn't hear at Villa Park on Tuesday. Also worth mentioning that Hoppo Ben wrote none of those chants.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they were so good.
But keep it up. Keep going.
Keep trying, Hopper.
Yeah, I admire perseverance.
So I like stuff like that. It's like funny that someone I've never met in my life, but obviously watches the Villa View and comments on the Villa View, you end up talking about them like you know them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, Hoppo Ben.
Sometimes when people, like you said about people coming up to you in the station, sometimes when people come up to me at Villa Park, I think, how do they know that? And then I realise that I plaster my life all over social media, and that's how they know about it. But yeah, we'll probably be running a competition soon to name Tom's baby, so make sure you stay tuned for that. That'll be a great occasion.
Yeah, wife will love that.
Should let that happen, do you think?
No. Do you know what? If there's the right suggestion comes along, then you never know.
Yeah, leave your suggestions in the comments.
I don't think Juan Pablo Julian's gonna catch on, but if you don't suggest it, it definitely won't happen.
Devastated Marlon's been not taken.
Might be a middle name. It's growing on me the more I hear it.
He's growing on you, but he's not growing on the boss.
No.
That's the problem.
That's very, very
What about if someone scores the winner in the playoff final? You'd be tempted?
That's been suggested
You'd be
before.
tempted by that?
Yes. Yeah. I'd definitely be tempted.
Jack Julian, does that work?
See, I like quite a lot of J names, but I don't.
I like the alliteration.
I don't like JJ particularly. No. So, I mean, again, let's see what happens.
So Joachim's out then.
Oh yeah.
Joachim Julian's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was to say Dwight Julian.
Dwight Julian, good name.
It was my first Villa hero. Anyway, you want to finish off?
We're finishing.
Oh, unless you want to.
It's only 48 minutes. I did just think of something else I wanted to talk about, but it's completely gone. But I'll go with this bit now. I'm all over the place here. I can't remember where I've been sent the thing. So
this is what happens when you don't have notes.
It is what happens when you. I asked you to put this in the notes, though. To be fair to me, earlier, and you ignored it.
I'm not sure you did.
So Adam Wright, Fancam's regular, Fancam's legend. Actually, someone came up to him last night while he was in the middle of Fancams and said, "You are a legend, mate." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then I realised they weren't talking to me.
Oh, wow.
They're talking to Adam, saying he's a legend, and he is a legend. To be perfectly honest, his fan cams are absolutely brilliant.
I will say he accosted me outside the North Stand toilets.
Did he?
Just coming out, just wiping my hands, and he popped up. That was really nice to see him, and we had a nice little chat. But yeah, absolute legend.
So his little lad Luke, who's been on. Well, he's not so little anymore actually, because he's coming up to 12. He's going to be 12. On Friday, so happy birthday to Luke Wright.
Happy birthday.
On Friday. He's done some kind of school project, I believe. It's been a while since I was at school, so I don't know what this kind of stuff's called now. Homework, probably. I wasn't too good at the homework myself, so he's done a poem called I Love the Villa, which I'm going to read out now in my best poet's voice. I feel like you should be doing this, really.
No, go on, go for it.
I'm going to go for it. So we've got, we are the Villa and we are proud. So now we stand together and chant out loud. And now we sing and now we shout to show our support and what we're all about. As a team we'll score, as a club we'll win, as we drive past our opponents and chuck them in the bin. We are the Villa and we are proud. So now we stand together and chant out loud. This is my club, it means my life. This is my religion and could never be my strife. This is the club that makes my life a thriller. So believe me when I say I love the Villa.
Quality.
Some superb rhyming in there.
Hoppo Ben.
Yeah, Hoppo Ben could learn a few things off this guy. Hoppo Ben's never going to listen to the podcast ever again after the stick he's taken in the last 5 minutes.
He's a genuine friend of the show, Hoppo Ben.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Luke, for that.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, amazing. More.
Don't let your dad take all the limelight.
Yeah.
Get some back for yourself.
You're a legend.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Okay. FBAs, yeah.
That's not on the notes.
Didn't even make my notes.
Oh, Tom.
So by the time, you'll probably, I don't know when you'll listen to this, but the FBAs are tomorrow, Thursday.
Football Blogging Awards, that is.
Yeah, the Football Blogging Awards. It's been a really busy Villa-centric week this week, hasn't it? I
mean, my wife would tell you that every week's like that for me.
Yeah, I've got a free pass this week, and I'm not. It must be my birthday. That's why. Yeah. So the Football Blogging Awards are taking place tomorrow, Thursday. They're actually being streamed on SkySports.com. So if you want to watch them, because you've got nothing else to do on your Thursday evening.
If you want to watch our faces as we don't win an award.
Yeah, it'll be crushing. But there's a couple of other guys from the Villa who are nominated as well.
They're not going there?
They're not going.
No.
Young blogger. There's a young blogger.
He's not a Villa fan though, Adam Thurston. No, he's a groundhopper, but I'd say he's got a very big soft spot for Villa. He loves going to the Villa. Looking forward to seeing him again.
Anyway, so it starts at 7:30 on SkySports.com if you want to watch it. The whole Villa View podcast team is going. Me, you, Dan, and Chris Dolan as well. Robbo didn't make it, unfortunately. One appearance.
He didn't fit the criteria.
It's like getting a Premier League medal. You have to play a certain number of games.
He's not played enough games, Robbo. But he's been listening from the start, apparently.
Yes.
So he says.
And I think it comes up at a perfect time because I think we are approaching our year when we started, a year to the day pretty much.
It feels like it's gone fast, that has.
Which is absolutely crazy. So we'll be tweeting and Instagramming and doing all sorts of stuff from the FBA. So
me personally, can't wait to see the outfits. You know, Dolan is going to come out with some absolute pizzazz.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, God knows what he's going to wear, but you know it's going to be flamboyant.
I feel a lot of pressure.
I mean, you should be feeling a lot of pressure because I'd be surprised if you've got a pair of shoes that don't have holes in them.
Oh, I don't.
Before
I don't anymore.
You have to do some serious shopping before these awards tomorrow. Because I think I'm going to look pretty swish. I don't know about Rollo.
Don't say so.
I don't even know if Rollo owns a suit. He's only young, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not had like many occasions to probably need a suit. So I'm a bit worried about what he'll wear.
I feel like Rollo is a complete wild card. Like he could come in his t-shirt and jeans, or he could come in at like a tux.
Nah, maybe he's
Can you
hired.
imagine?
Maybe he's hired something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you had your prom at school and you had to go and hire something.
Everyone has been pretty cagey on the WhatsApp group. It's like, oh, what are you going to wear? Suit. Oh, what are you going to? Oh, I don't know. We'll decide on the day.
I've had a chat with Dolan.
I don't know.
Phone, but like you say, he was a bit coy. He doesn't want anyone to outshine him, does he? If he turns up and one of us looks better than him, he's not going to like that, because the fashion is his remit. Yeah. It's definitely not your remit.
No.
I think I'll probably sit somewhere in the middle, but it's definitely not your realm.
Did you just check out my hair? You just looked at my hair with a real derogatory sly face.
Because I was thinking, you said to me earlier you need to get a haircut, and I was thinking, oh God, he does need a haircut. I've had mine done especially.
Well, yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Fresh trim.
There you go. So the Football Blogging Awards, you'll find out tomorrow, but I'm sure we'll talk about it next week. So there might be a few little stories that come out of there tomorrow as well. And then I guess there's been quite a lot of Villa View content as well, hasn't there? There's fan cams, obviously, from last night. There was will there be a review? Has there been a review?
No, there won't be one now.
This is
the review, Tom.
Yeah, we might do something from the FBAs as well, so there might be something come out of that as well. If you haven't checked out our away days video for AVFC Official as well, please do that, because we had a lot of fun doing it. And if you like my cardie, please let the people know. Because
no
I need
comments
the help.
for that card.
I need the support.
Don't wear that tomorrow night.
No, I certainly won't.
We definitely should mention as well, people have asked whether we'll be doing anything at Wembley. We want to try and do some stuff, so we'll keep you updated on social media and on the podcast next week with our plans, because not sure what we're allowed to do, what will be available to do, but suffice to say, it's probably Villa's biggest game ever, arguably. We would definitely like to do something.
Definitely in our lifetimes.
I mean, I've been to big games, cup finals and stuff, but I don't think anything compares to the aftermath of this. Obviously, I missed the
European Cup.
I wasn't born then, Tom.
No, I know, but you said ever.
I just think, because I think the after effects. If Villa hadn't won the European Cup, it didn't necessarily affect the next season as much as this affects the next season, I don't think.
If you asked John Terry to pick whether he'd rather win the Championship playoff final or the Champions League, I think.
As a player, you'd rather win the Champions League, but I'm saying as a club,
European Cup win. I mean, I wasn't around either, obviously, but that's the pinnacle. So I'm not saying it's the biggest.
I'm not saying it's the biggest occasion. I'm saying it's got the biggest fallout.
Right.
That will cause us problems next season. Obviously, not being in the Premier League will cause us problems, because you end up falling further behind.
Yeah. All right.
Teams that are now established, like Bournemouth and Watford, teams that I never thought would be playing in a higher league than Villa.
I think we can agree to disagree on that.
We'll talk about it next week. You can already see the podcast title next week. Biggest game ever? ?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. We should mention we always have to try and think of a title for the podcast, and me and Tom are always terrible at remembering what we've spoke about and what the title should be.
It's true.
Yeah. Done.
We're out. Let's go.
You do the outro.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your comments below. What should I name my baby? Even if it's... I need some girl names as well.
Everyone assumes it's going to be a boy.
Just assume it's going to be a boy. Check out the fan cams. Check out the AVFC Away Days video as well. We'll give you all the updates from tomorrow night on the FBAs as well. Have I forgotten anything?
I don't listen to what you're saying, to be honest.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, that's good, quick.
We're on to the playoff finals. See you at Wembley. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.